Okay, welcome everybody. This is Mark Ross. I've got Brian with me, and we are here to go over some information that we think is going to educate you guys and hopefully prepare you for not just the first vote, but votes ongoing. Because this whole process is going to be a lot of fun when we finally launch this voting that comes out. You know, the DGen wallet, the size of the community, the market cap. I mean, we're going to be looking at all these different things, and Brian is really going to go into it. Brian, let me real quick. I think I need to change your name.
No, there you go.
Let's change it from David Track to Brian. Anyway,
For the
we're all
real
logging in.
David track, please.
Yeah, we
Please.
log into David Track's Zoom account, so we always have to change that before we get started. But in any case, so I really believe this is going to be an evolving process. What we talk about tonight will just be like the very first training of this kind to discuss what to anticipate, what we believe should be anticipated. And we also believe that in the future, there's going to be probably people in the community that come to us and say, hey, did you ever consider this? Did you ever consider that? And so, what we're about to do with this voting process, again, this election process, the goal of it, as you know, is to solve the number one problem in cryptocurrency. And not just in the Solana network, which is where we're going to be doing it on the Solana blockchain, but all over crypto. Because as you guys know, the number one problem is Sosana, which stands for shiny object syndrome. And because of that, nothing accomplished. Shiny object syndrome and nothing accomplished is the problem for most people that get into crypto. So we created this concept, we created this method of an election process where members that come into Sosana can nominate their favorite project on the Solana network. And for doing that, they can potentially earn a reward. Also, those who hold a minimum of $50 worth of Sosana can come in and vote during that process. We know that the nomination process is going to start out as 2 weeks. It's a 2 week process. It's going to give you guys an opportunity to evaluate projects on the Solana network and actually nominate those projects that you guys think could potentially win the election, right? And this is going to be something that's never happened in crypto history. We believe that the result of that, most importantly, is going to help you guys earn some amazing rewards, but at the same time solve the problem, which is that shiny object syndrome, because we want to uplift the quality projects and throw out the shiny objects. That's the whole purpose of this. And as you guys know, there's going to be what we consider, and we don't know when, we can't predict it, we can't guarantee anything, but what we can tell you is that we believe, and I think everybody here believes, that at some point there's going to be what we call a tipping point where the DGen voter bonus wallet that's been collecting the 1% of all the transactions, the buys, the sells, the transfers, everything combined is going to show up in that DGen voter bonus pool. And we know that the bigger that pool gets, the more synergy that it's going to create, the more it could potentially impact markets, meaning that, depending on the token that the community votes for, right? And so there's going to be a process of evaluating all this because we know that the winner is going to be revealed at 7 p.m. Monday night. And for an hour from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., you guys are going to decide if you want to add that project to your portfolio. And so this is what we want to go into tonight is that process that we want to really pinpoint that particular process. Brian has some really good ideas he wants to share with you guys on how we're going to, again, this isn't financial advice. That's not what this is, but what we think things that you might want to look for, things that you might want to consider before you add that project to your portfolio. So Brian, I'm going to let you take it from here and we'll just go from here and see where this leads.
Awesome, Mark. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. And I will say it again. I mean, I think we have not been vague or hazy or unclear in any way. That one of the reasons why we created Sosana is because we wanted to help our community be able to make money. Mark kind of touched on some of that a little bit there, saying, hey, help you throw out the shiny objects and then focus on quality projects, et cetera. But let's face it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about two major things, without including the affiliate program. We're talking about two major things here that we have drilled real hardcore from the very beginning that's gotten people excited. One is the value of the Sosana token, which we believe right now is in its infancy, is going to sprout up and continue to grow and grow and grow over time, especially as this kind of hits its real stride, and that people who are involved right now are in a privileged position because they can get the token at what we consider to be ridiculously discounted prices. But the other is this whole degen voter mechanism by which every 2 weeks, after nominating and voting, we're going to announce who the winner of the vote is. And everybody will know at that point that we'll announce at 7 o'clock. And we're going to be making a purchase of in the amount of whatever's in the degen voter wallet. We're going to purchase that amount of the tokens at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, giving you 1 hour to position yourself with that information. You don't have to do anything. And I think we've been very clear on that, right? Which is why we always say there's no guarantees. You might just say, okay, cool, that's cool, and do nothing. You might say, hey, that's really exciting, and go buy some of that token. You might do some, whatever, but you don't have to do anything. But we know a lot of people we talk to where a lot of people are planning to do. And what was interesting to me was Mark and I were talking, and I'd made mention to him that, man, I'm getting a lot of calls from people, and they're talking about they can't wait for our first vote because they're asking me for advice, which like how much money do you think I should spend like to go buy whatever token wins, because I want to have a big hit. And Mark said I'm getting the same kind of calls, and I said, you know what, I think we need to talk about this. We need to get on the same page with this and have a training about this because I want to see people be as prepared as possible. So that's what this training is about. This is that post-vote pre-buy training, right? And what we kind of came to a consensus on was that there are some variables you should look at, right? Because it's all votes are not going to be created equal in the beginning, right? And we're going to talk about what happens over time when we get to that tipping point that Mark just mentioned. But here are the three things if I were you. And again, if I were you and I was saying, hey, I want to be really successful here, I want to have an opportunity to really get some profits here, during the vote, after the vote has happened, and I've got this information. Here are three variables I would look at to make a determination of what I believe is going to be the outcome in that 1 hour and with that purchase at the top of the hour. When you're making a determination of, just what you want to do with the process. So the first variable is, I think, probably obvious to everybody, right? How big is the degen voter wallet, right? That would be the first thing I would want to know, right? And everybody's going to know that. This is not going to be a secret, right? Everyone's going to know that there's $50,000, there's $10,000, there's $100,000, there's $1 million, right? Everyone will know exactly how much is in the degen voter wallet and what that purchase is going to be at 8 o'clock. Now, that's an important variable, right? And especially when you consider the other two things that I'm going to talk about, because remember, how much we're going to buy of that token at the top of the hour. That will definitely have an effect on how much you believe it will or will not impact the price of that token. Because clearly what everybody's trying to do is say, okay, if I believe the token price is going to go up, I want to get the token at a discount right now, and then be able to sell it at some point in time in the future at a profit. And if I believe I can step right into it and it's going to go right up into a profit mode, that puts me in an advantageous position, right? So that's number one, is how much is in that degen voter wallet. I think that's the one that requires the least amount of explanation, right? So you have that number, what's in the degen voter wallet. Here's the second one, though, and this is why when people say to us, so what do you guys think that's going to happen? And we always say, hey, there's no guarantees. We can't make any guarantees, because here's the one that we don't know, especially in the beginning, right? Which is, of the community, right? Of the size of the actual community, what percentage of the community is actually going to participate in that hour, right? We believe a massive percentage of the community, right? I believe that's why most people are here at this stage. But that doesn't mean that I'm right. Doesn't mean that you're right, right? I think from talking to the people we're talking to, a lot of people are like, man, this is why I'm here, man, because I'm here for the degen voter. But again, we don't know, right? So we don't know two things. We don't know, what percentage of the community is going to participate, right? So therefore, how many people are going to be involved? The other thing we don't know with any level of certainty is at what level would they actually purchase the token, right? With some people, is it going to be an average of $100 purchase? Is it going to be people purchasing $1,000? I wanted to have this training because, I started having people calling me up saying, I'm thinking about putting 25 grand. And I said, okay, we need to have a training. I want people to make informed decisions all the time. That's one of the things I want you guys, I hope you've come to learn about us, is that we're not trying to get you to mortgage your house to just throw a bunch of money into something that you don't completely understand. We're trying to make sure that everybody is operating with both eyes open at every single stage of the process, so you guys have the best opportunity to win. That's what we want. We want success stories. We want people who are improving their lives and sharing that with others and bringing other people to help them improve their lives. So that's what we're all about. So that second variable is going to be about community size. Now, eventually, you'll be able to figure out that, man, the community is so big that it doesn't even matter anymore, right? If 10% of the people in the community, although that's highly unlikely, it will only be 10%, but if 10% of the people in the community decide to go in on this token, it's going to actually make a big difference. Here's the final variable, though, that a lot of people are not thinking about. And I want to show you why you need to think about this and then how all three of these go together. Whatever token wins, right? Whatever token wins, it is going to be important to you to know and understand about the market cap and liquidity pool of that token, right? Because think about this for a moment. Let's say that the token that wins has $100 million in their liquidity pool because somebody nominates some superstar token that's been around for a long time, and everybody goes in and votes for it, right? They're like, well, this token has their stuff together. I mean, again, which again, I don't know if that's exactly the type of tokens that we're looking for. I don't know if you're necessarily uncovering a diamond in the rough, but what you nominate is what you nominate. And what people vote for is what they vote for. We cannot put our thumb on the scale. We will not. We refuse to. And it's very possible, and I'm just trying to use an extreme example, that a very established token, right? Let's say it had a $100 million liquidity pool. So if it's got a $100 million liquidity pool and we've got $50,000 in the DGen voter wallet, and we've got maybe 2,000 people in the community and half of those people participate, I don't really believe that it's going to make a substantial difference in the price of that token. And I guess, and I hope you guys can understand why. I mean, you're talking about a token where with $100 million in their liquidity pool, you need to actually move a lot of money into that token to impact the price one way or the other, right? A lot's gonna have to happen because it's already such a big pool. You need to move something into the token that's going to be a decent level percentage, right? To really move a price significantly. I'm not saying it won't move it at all, by a penny or two, or whatever, but you need to do something significant to really move the price. So if we have a smaller DGen voter wallet bonus, if we have a smaller community, we have a really, really huge market cap token that wins, or a really huge liquidity pool, right? So it can settle out and absorb a lot of buys and sells without really impacting the price too much, then you may not impact the price too much. And that's something you should know. You should not go in with these blinders on, just thinking, man, we voted for that token. I'm throwing 25 grand in because I'm going to triple my money tonight or quadruple my money tonight. If in that scenario that I just gave you, not very likely. Okay. Not very likely. Now, that doesn't mean that you might not become aware of this token for the very first time and say, wow, that is a really great token. And I would like to buy and hold that token because I believe the price is going to go up in the future, because the token seems to have solid metrics and that's why everybody voted for it. And that's one thing. But if your goal is, I'm trying to get in and make some money within this first hour, these first couple of hours, as other people start aping in, and et cetera, then you want to look at all three of those things: the size of the voter wallet, the size of the community, but also the market cap slash liquidity pool. Now, on the other hand, let's say that we have $100,000 in the wallet. We have 5,000 people that are a part of the community, and the token that wins has a liquidity pool with a half with $500,000 or $600,000 in it. That's a different story, right? That's a different story. It is very likely that with 5,000 people involved in the community, let's say even half of them, 2,500 of them decided. I think it'll be a higher percentage in the beginning, but let's say, 50% of them, I should say, 2,500 people, 50% of them decided they were all going to go jump on that token. And 2,500 people at, let's say, $100 each would be what, $250,000. $250,000 going in an hour to a market, to a liquidity pool that has only $500,000 in it. followed up by $100,000 purchase at the top of that hour. So $350,000 into a liquidity pool of $500,000, all happening in a period of an hour. That is going to seriously, and again, even in that scenario, we're not allowed to make guarantees, right? But that is very likely, I'm not making a guarantee, regulators, but that is very likely going to have a huge positive price pressure impact on that token price, right? So my evaluation, all I'm saying, would be different for that second scenario than that first scenario. But in either scenario, if part of my strategy, and I hope this is part of your strategy, guys, is to acquire quality token projects into my portfolio, then in either scenario, I'm still looking at that and I'm figuring out a way to, to get some of these tokens and hold them. Even in a situation where I think the price might go up dramatically, and I'm saying, well, I probably want to take some profits. I'm going to take some profits, but I'm probably not going to liquidate, right? I'm going to take some profits, but I'm also going to hold tokens into my portfolio if I believe that that is a project that long term is going to continue to go north. That's just how I'm going to build some long term wealth with my crypto assets. So I hope that for most of you, if you weren't thinking that way before, because most people I was talking to, they were thinking about the size of the DGen voter wallet and then the community size. Now, over time, guys, there will be a point. I know, and I'm going to bring Mark back in here in a second because I know, because he can really talk about this, but there will be that tipping point where the size of the DGen voter wallet and the size of the community will get to a level that the third variable becomes less and less important. From a standpoint of will it push a price up, right? I mean, when you get to a point where we've got millions of dollars in the DGen voter wallet, where we've got, 50,000, 75,000, 100,000 people in the community who are regularly every 2 weeks getting in front of information and going and making a purchase of a token, it almost doesn't matter what the size is, right? I mean, it almost doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, if a small market cap token wins even at that point of development then it's going to be insane what's going to happen for that token. But even if it's a larger market cap token, it's still going to move the needle potentially significantly, right? Because of the size of variables one and two, the size of the wallet, the size of the community coming in that hour and buying tokens up to get in front of that big giant wallet purchase at the top of the hour. But in the beginning, guys, when we're still maybe pre-tipping point or still getting to a point of really understanding, okay, just what percentage of the community is getting involved in this every 2 weeks, right? That's when I'm saying make sure you're looking at all three things, not just one or two things. Not just hearing, oh man, there's $80,000 in the DGen voter wallet. I'm going all in. I'm mortgaging my house, right? First of all, in no scenario, do not mortgage your house. Please don't do that, right? But just saying that instead of this just going overboard kind of thing, evaluate all three things and then look at your particular situation, what some of your goals are for these biweekly votes, what your risk capital is. And I stress the word risk capital because there are no guarantees. And then make the best possible decision for yourself and your family based off of all three of those variables. So Mark, I'm gonna turn it back to you, man, because I know you want to talk a little bit more and elaborate on that a little bit more. But I hope that at least is some foundational stuff for people to help them think about it in a way that perhaps up until this point they haven't been thinking about, right? Because again, our thing is we don't want to see people get hurt. We want to see people win. We know that it's going to get to that point eventually, right, where it doesn't matter. To the most part, it's gonna be everything's gonna be so huge and so fast moving. But the people that are with us here in the beginning, we want to see these guys have the best possible chance to win, which is why we want to give them the most amount of information to make their decisions. So I'm gonna turn it back to you, sir.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Always good, Brian. So, the professor said something I think is absolutely just perfect for this occasion. And he said it in Telegram. He said, understand it as you undertake it. I think that is an excellent way to look at this because let's face it, what we're about to do has never been done in crypto history. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I really believe, and I want you guys to tell me if you agree. I think this is going to be the most fun a crypto community has ever had in history. It's going to be so fun to show up here, nominate projects, vote for projects, and just watch what happens. Wow. Unbelievable. And we are never, I don't think we have ever in history seen a crypto community that's going to be this active and participate this much. And when you have a crypto community like this that is participating this much, I think 95% or more will participate. I think the reason they're here is because they want to participate. And I've told you guys this before, and I got to reiterate, Sosana is so much more than just a meme token or just a token in general. I mean, you can look at every single crypto project you've ever seen in crypto history, everything. And what you see for the community is you see people buying the token, hoping that token price will go up, hoping they'll make a profit from the token. Whether they want to hold it long term or short term, that's their goal, is to make money. They want to hold that token until one day they're going to sell it, and then they're going to make a profit. And that's crypto, period. That's not Sosana. Sosana has completely transcended crypto in that way because we are so much more than a token. Yes, there's going to be the opportunity because of that. But the token itself, in my opinion, will be an even greater opportunity, especially those of you that are involved right now. I mean, I've gone over many, many scenarios with you guys to try and help you understand the potential, no guarantees, not financial advice, but the potential of where Sosana is headed. And we believe it's a multi-billion-dollar marketing cap project in the making. And folks, we are not even close to that point. I mean, we've got a long ways to go, and you guys are so fortunate to be where you are just from a token perspective. But you know what? There's going to be a lot of people that want to have a reason to get involved when we hit $50, when we hit $100 a token. Why would someone continue to come into Sosana? It ain't going to be for the token. It might be. I'm not going to say they can't still make money from the token, right? I mean, there's still people buying Bitcoin at 120,000 or whatever it is, right? So there's always going to be people like that too. But the biggest reason people are going to come in is because they know there is an opportunity to grow their portfolio with a community. This community that's the most active community in crypto history, in my opinion, is what I see in the vision of Sosana, which, by the way, I'm still trying to put together that short vision overview for you guys to use as a tool to start sharing with people. I tried to get that done today, and I just wasn't feeling the magic, so I didn't do it until I feel it's right. But I got to tell you, I just think people are going to keep coming back every 2 weeks and eventually every week. They're going to keep coming back. Why? Because of opportunity. And the opportunity is an opportunity to come in and participate with the community through this election process to find quality projects. And that's another criteria I got to throw out there, the quality of the project. Because if you look at what the community votes for, you're going to look at it and I'm going to recommend that you guys, without giving you any financial advice, is really try to take that hour and try to figure out, go look at their Telegram, go look at their website, go see what their community is all about. It doesn't take that long to figure it out, right? You can look at their website, you can look at their information. Is it a technology? Is it a really neat meme token idea, whatever it is? And that also is going to give you a feel for if you feel like it's a really quality project. And of course, we believe the goal is to find those quality projects through the community, right? And also, not only that, but then in pre-launch projects, that's exciting too, folks. Once you're a member of the affiliate plan, that same process happens once per month, all over again. But so much more than a token, right? Because we believe that this utility, at least what we're doing, is we're putting this together, this voting mechanism, this reward mechanism. We're putting it together for you guys to help you potentially create wealth completely aside from the token. And I don't know of a crypto project that really gives their community that kind of an opportunity. And we have to really stress the word opportunity, not guarantee, opportunity. But I believe, again, this is just me, not making predictions, not giving advice, but I believe that as we evolve as a community, the bigger we get, I believe we're going to become kind of a household name in the crypto industry. I think everyone's going to find out about us. And I think everyone's going to start wanting to come and participate in what we're doing and finding quality projects and throwing out the shiny objects. It's going to be in my opinion, a whole new revolutionary way for people to find quality projects and get rewarded in the process. It gamifies the whole process. If you vote for the winning token, you're going to get a reward, right? That's amazing. That's never happened in crypto history. You're going to get airdropped a reward just for liking a project, voting for the winning project. What an amazing reward that is to reward a community for doing so much good for the crypto industry. We're throwing out the shiny objects. We're getting rid of the garbage. We're trying to sift and sort as a community, community driven, a way to just get rid of all these scams and rug pulls and all the garbage and find a safe haven, a place where you can find quality projects, right? And get rewarded. To actually get rewarded for doing something like that is going to make this, in my opinion, I'm going to say it again, the most fun a crypto community has ever been in history. And man, what fun it's going to be. You guys right now, we live in the present moment. It's real easy to do that. It's real easy to live in the present moment and go to the chart and go, oh, 32 cents. Man, I hope it hits 40 cents. Guys, what we're about to do is so much bigger than that. But that's what you're used to, isn't it? That's what you're always looking at. Every crypto project you ever get into, you look at the chart and go, man, I hope that token goes up. And don't get me wrong, we all want the token to go up, but you know what? It will. It's going to go up on its own. When this thing goes viral, the token's going to follow it. The token is not just going to sit there because people have to buy $50 just to vote. People have to hold $500 just to nominate. So the bigger our community gets, it's like an automated staking mechanism, isn't it? People are just going to want to participate, and the only way they can is to hold the token. They're going to have to do it. And that's going to drive and put buy pressure into the Sosana token. We really believe that, of course. But I think we're going to hear stories of people that hold $50 in Sosana and make a lot more than $50 outside of the token. Again, is that a guarantee? No, but I really believe we're going to hear a lot of stories like that. I believe we're going to see YouTube videos from so-called experts that will literally title their video, how to make money finding quality projects with the Sosana crypto project, something like that, right? And they're going to have their own little strategies of what they think, what this whole thing entails, and it's just going to evolve into something really neat. I think that other communities, I've said this before, I believe that other communities are going to come to Sosana and bring their communities with them. For these projects, they're going to be like, we want to win this vote. Did you see the DGen voter bonus pool last week? We want some of that. Okay. And they're going to bring their communities with them, and they all got to buy a minimum of $50, but a lot of them are going to get really excited about the project and probably buy a lot more than that. And we just think the synergy of all this thing is going to make it just go nuts. So opportunity, yes. Guarantee, absolutely not. There is going to be, kind of like Brian said, you're going to look at the size of the DGen wallet. You're going to look at how big is the community and what happened last week. Oh, they all participated. It could be a little different from week to week though, right? Because like he said, not all elections are going to be equal. There's going to be more quality projects, less quality projects. I believe there's going to be some really amazing projects that come out of these election processes that we discover that we're just like, wow, that one won the election 3 months ago. Have you seen it today? That's pretty amazing. I think things like that are going to happen, and that's some of the synergy that I'm talking about of how this creates opportunity. It's not just about taking advantage at 7 p.m. and what's going to happen at 8 p.m. That's just, to me, that's a really awesome, fun process, and that you're going to be able to evaluate it. But I'm also going to say that it's so much more than that. This is a long-term project. This is not a pump and dump community. There's a lot of pump and dump communities in crypto. And what do? They find projects that nobody even cares about. And the only thing they do is they say, hey, folks, in about an hour, we're going to reveal the project that we recommend you guys buy. And it's all part of this pump and dump scheme, right? They have these telegrams full of like thousands of people. And what happens every single time? They reveal the project. People jump into it, then they sell it as fast as they jumped into it, and they all try to make a profit. They all just kind of roll the dice. It's like gambling. We're trying to get rid of that process. We're trying to make it so that you can find quality projects. We can throw out the shiny objects, and as a community, help us build a portfolio of quality projects. That's the first goal. But we also know it's not going to be a perfect system either. You know, sometimes the community might choose a project that doesn't explode over the next 6 to 12 months, that may not be that quality of a project. So you're going to have to learn as you go. I love, again, I got to reiterate the understand it as you undertake it. I love that quote from Professor. I don't know where you got that quote, Professor. You might want to tell us, but um, to me, that really says it all in a sense, because this is something that is new. This is something the whole crypto industry has never seen before. We've never seen it before, right? We have a really good idea on what we think is going to happen, which is why we all think this is an amazing concept. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot bigger than we think, to be honest with you. And I think it's going to be pretty dang big. I mean, I talked about $100 price. I talked about a multi-billion-dollar market cap. Folks, when we get there, my question is this: why wouldn't we keep growing? And why would we care what Bitcoin's doing? Why would we, oh, Bitcoin went down 20%, but I don't want to go earn rewards in the next election. Who's going to say that? I don't see anybody saying I don't want to earn rewards in the next Sosana election, no matter what our price is. I don't care if we're $10 to 10 cents or $100, right? I just believe that whole mechanism is going to continue to grow and grow and just go viral. So that's kind of what I wanted to add to what you said, Brian. Is there anything else you want to kind of bring up before we start answering questions?
No, just the fact that again, to stress that point that you just made, that remember, only part of it is that magic hour, right? Of
Right.
having that information and making money. The other part is long-term growth within your portfolio. So guys, just as you're putting together your own strategies, make it a part of your strategy of hey, if I'm going to do some profit taking, what part am I doing that's profit taking? What part am I going to do that is about keeping and maintaining some of these tokens in my portfolio, so that I can ultimately go out and watch it and have that grow and create some a little bit of a longer term mindset as well. So some short term profit taking for cash flow, but then also some other things that you're doing to potentially build some wealth over time. And for everybody, that's going to be different, and we understand that. We understand that
Yep.
everybody's going to be different. You don't call Mark up and ask him what he thinks is best, because Mark doesn't know about all your personal finances and responsibilities, right? And risk tolerance and all those things. Don't call me either, right? I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to make some of those determination decisions on your own, based off of your own level of risk, your own risk capital that you have, and your own strategies of what you're trying to get accomplished. Some people here are trying to hit it very, very big in the long run. So therefore, they've got one strategy. Some guys are here trying to, hey man, I'm so deep in a hole. I need a rocket launcher to get out. I need a jetpack to get out, and I need to get out this week. Right? So they got a whole different, riskier probably strategy. Most people are probably going to be somewhere in between. Figure out what works best for you, and then stick to that strategy. And remember, it's going to happen every 2 weeks. So
Mhm.
the one that's happening today is not the last and only one. You know what I mean? It's going to happen every 2 weeks, and you can actually build a pretty solid strategy along the way and grow as we grow. That's all.
Yep, awesome. And so Mark Anthony asked an excellent question. Will the admins host a call during that 1 hour before purchasing a token and talk about the project nominated to help educate about things to consider? Here's the thing we don't want to do.
Yeah.
We don't want to have any impact on your decision, because that's not what we're here for. That would put us in the category of giving people advice. We cannot give people advice. This has to be decentralized. We have to be completely neutral when it comes to giving advice about projects and saying what you should or shouldn't do about any particular project. We are probably going to show you some really good criteria of things you want to look at, but then you guys are going to have to make those decisions as to whether or not those particular projects meet that criteria. We're going to
Yeah.
educate people on how to find quality projects. We're going to educate people on how to avoid scams. We're going to do that. We're going to give you all the basic fundamental education, but then you guys have to do the speculating. You guys have to make those decisions. And so I don't see us holding calls during that hour telling people what we think of any particular project. And I don't even know if that's what you meant, but
Yeah.
just so you know.
And one thing I'll add to that, Mark, is kind of Mark Anthony. Keep in mind, right? You've got, from the time we actually reveal the projects, right? The 25, let's say there are 25 tokens, right? When we reveal them on that Saturday, all the way until the following Monday at 7, before you even know who wins, right? But I would say if this is me, part of my criteria before as I'm determining who I'm going to vote for, right? Because that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not just supposed to go and just say, I don't know, I'll pick number 7. It has a cool name, right? I mean, you're supposed to go and evaluate these 25 tokens. So you're putting in a vote for what you believe the very best project is. So then part of my criteria, because remember, you're going to know the size of the DGen voter wallet, right? You don't have to do any research for that. We're going to tell you what that is, right? You'll have a sense of the community if you're a part of the community, of the size of the community. But then as I'm evaluating whether or not I believe it's a solid project or not, which points I'm checking off, I'm also going to look at for all 25 of those tokens, I would have market cap and liquidity pool size. I would actually know all of that in advance. So when it's revealed at 7 o'clock that token number 4, which was token XYZ, is the winner, I would just look at my notes and be like, okay, so there's $100,000 in the DGen voter pool. I know we've got about 3,000 people in the community right now, and the token that won has a market cap of $7 million and the current liquidity pool of 147,000. And then I would base I would base what I do next off of that information because I would already have it. So don't put yourself in a position where necessarily as soon as it's announced, then you're trying to figure all these things out. Because again, if you're trying to get first movers advantage, the people who know that stuff in advance will be able to move faster. So have as much information about those tokens as you can. That should have happened during your research process before you voted for one anyway. And that way at 7 o'clock when it's announced, you're already at the starting line, already at the ready to make the move. You're just checking some quick notes and making some calculations, and then you're doing what you want to do at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Ellsworth says, hey, did you make a video on Sosana yet? No, I'm right. I'm telling you the process of it. And I feel so bad that I didn't get it out today because I wanted to. And I told you guys my goal was to get it out today. But here's the thing, though. When you're putting together a video, and I've put together lots of videos, you got to feel it. You got to feel the magic of it. You just got to feel like this is it. And I just haven't hit that point. Like right when I hit it, anytime you're creating something, you just got to feel like it's right. And I've outlined it. I've put together an outline. Also, I didn't feel like there's just some days where your energy's better than others, right? And I just wasn't feeling it. If you guys want to see what I truly believe actually is the best overview I've done on the vision of Sosana and what the potential is, you want to go back to the September 6th Zoom, which I can post. And I want you guys to go through that again and just remind yourself. This will remind you what we're about to endeavor, like what's about to happen. And I'm just telling you, today I just didn't feel it. I was like, I want to record it, but I'm like, and if I don't feel it, I'm not going to do it. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to give you guys half of me. Like I got to go all or nothing. And so let's expect it tomorrow. I'm going to do my best to get it out tomorrow. And I think it's going to be a useful tool. I hope that you guys find it very useful. Of course, you guys are probably going to give me some suggestions. And I'm going to go, oh man, I should have put that in there, and I'm going to re-record it. That's fine. I'll record it as many times as I need to before you guys think it's like the tool, right? Because I want you guys to just have a real easy way to say, you want to learn about Sosana? Watch this video. It's like 15 to 20 minutes. Just watch it. And that's actually what I'm aiming to do for you guys. So I'll be doing that as soon as possible. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Will we see the voting trend live time? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Helen. Do you know what she means by that, Brian? The voting trend live time?
I don't know, but if what you mean is that are we going to show up like real time as people are voting for tokens? Are we going to show that real time before the 7 o'clock announcement? The answer is absolutely not. If we did that, then people would just say, okay, that token looks like it's going to win, so let me go vote for that token. And now we're kind of perverting the entire process, right? So we not even we will know which token is getting the most amount of votes, right? It's all going to be done by a decentralized app. When it's released at 7 o'clock, we will be tuning in at 7 o'clock as well to see what token won. And that's the only fair way to do it, to make sure that people are voting for the token they believe is the best project and not just the token that they see other people voting for and saying that one has all the momentum. Because if that was the case, then everybody would just wait, right? And then we're giving the prize to everyone instead of giving it to the people who actually did the research and picked the right token.
Yep. Just like any election, right? We don't want to allow people to go, oh, look, that one's winning. I'm going to vote for it.
We'll go for it.
You've got, okay, Don asks, will you only tell the winner or will you give additional information about the winner, like the current price and the liquidity? Well, you're going to be able to go, and I'm going to answer this here for you. You're going to want to go to, I recommend deckscreener.com. There's people that use other ones, but deckscreener.com is actually the best one I know of where you can evaluate that and look at liquidity. It's very important that you look more at liquidity than you do what it says in terms of what they say for like market cap. Because if it has a super small liquidity but a really high market cap, you can tell that that is a market cap that's kind of out of whack with what it actually is. Because they may be considering things about the tokenomics that aren't up to date. But look at the liquidity, the size of the liquidity pool, and that'll help you understand it in terms of what the impact will be in comparison to the size of the degen wallet, as Brian was talking about earlier. Okay, let's look here. Any other questions here? Is the first vote still the 26th of this month? Okay, I think it was what you meant was the 20th of this month. We are trying still to move towards that. David told us worst case scenario is that we actually begin the nomination process the 20th of this month and that we don't actually have our first election coming up, which would actually be this weekend, right? Where from Saturday to Monday of this coming weekend would have been the first actual election process where you guys can look at all the nominations. But since we haven't started that, since everything, the smart contract is still going through the auditing process, smoothing out the errors and making sure that this is a smooth process for everybody. So it may be that we have to start the nomination process October 20th, but that's worst case scenario. Helen asks, and the trend as it becomes more sophisticated, the key positive factors that caused people to make the decisions they did. No, not going to have anything like that. Not going to, we want to keep the analyzing stuff like that out of the picture. We just want you guys to be in charge. We want the whole community to just be in charge. We're not going to try to use any kind of, as you put it, sophistication on the positive factors that cause people to make the decisions they did. No, we're not going to be looking into that. That's just a whole nother can of worms, sounds like to me. Brent asks, when we are a go for launch on being able to purchase our founding member position and KYC, will there be a Sosana wallet address to send said funds for both items? Purchase our founding member. You want to answer that, Brian?
Yeah,
For some reason,
think yeah. So just who asked the question? I'm sorry.
This was Brent.
Okay, Brent. So when you go to sign up as an affiliate, if that's what you're talking about, right? So you can become a founder in a KYC, you don't need a wallet to send it to, right? Once you're going to go to the page, you're going to connect your wallet, and you're going to go to the link that you already have of the person that you either signed up with in the pre-launch or the affiliate positioning, or if you haven't done that yet, whoever invited you is going to give you their link. You're going to click on that link. It's going to take you into a page. It'll ask you to connect your wallet. So see that you have enough Sosana funds in there to complete the transaction. And then you're going to actually decide if you want to be a founder or not. And if you want to be a founder, you'll click on that. It's going to tell you that there's going to be a $99 charge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Once you actually agree to everything, it will simply take the $99 out of your wallet. You'll agree to it. You'll verify that, and then you will be in as a founder. So you don't need a wallet address to send the funds to. That's all going to automatically be done by our smart contract, and then we'll take those funds and it will distribute them through the affiliate program appropriately, depending on the ranks and the levels and the blah 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 of the people who actually invited you to the Sosana community. So no separate wallet address required to do that. It'll simply be done automatically.
Yep. Israel asks, can there be multiple winners? And I'm assuming he means multiple tokens that win the election. Yes, there can be if there's a tie. If there's 2 or 3 or whatever tokens that actually get the exact same number of votes, then yes, there can be a tie. And in that case, it's going to divide up the degen voter bonus pool and it's all going to go out that way. So I don't expect that to happen very often, but it's possible. You never know. Um, will liquidity locked or not locked be a deciding factor on token projects? It could be. You can decide that, Mark. What do you think? Whether the liquidity is locked or not locked, would that be a deciding factor on token? Oh, you mean in terms of what we allow as nominations? No, I don't think we have anything like that, Brian. I know we have, there is a scam, a way of actually recognizing scams and booting them. And we do have something like that in place that David and the programs are working on. But I don't know if liquidity locked or unlocked is going to be a deciding factor. That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a really
So,
good question.
so right now, that is not something that we are going to, like, we're not going to scan for that. Remember, again, this is the community who's nominating the projects, not us,
Hmm.
right? However, again, we're going to have training about how to evaluate a token, right? One of the things we will talk about in that training, though, is some of the red flags you might look for. That could be a red flag in our training. But you're going to go out, people are going to go out and do their evaluation on their own based off of that, right? And they can use that template of training that we've set forth to decide, you know what, I'm not even going to nominate this project because it's got all these, quote unquote red flags. However, it is again, guys, I'm telling you, you are being given access to the tokens early so that you can go evaluate each token. Please don't vote for a token just because you threw a dart at a dartboard, right? Please go evaluate the tokens and determine. That's something you would look at and say, okay, I don't know how this one, I don't know why somebody even nominated this, but the liquidity pool is not locked. That's off my list, right? And then keep moving along and find the tokens that you believe fit all of your criteria and are good projects, right? And then narrow it down. But that's something that, again, we're counting on the collective, again, the crowdsourced intelligence, if you will, of the community to look at enough of these things and screen those tokens out to whittle down to the very best ones.
Yep. So I've got Cheryl asking how to turn off constant chat messages. I'm assuming that's your notifications on Telegram. So you would just go to the chat where it shows the Sosana official community chat and those three little dots. You just click on that and you would go to actually you would click on where it says Sosana official community chat. You click on that. Then you're going to see notifications and you can turn them off. There's a little toggle switch. And if you want to turn them off temporarily, you could do that. So you don't get the cha-ching noise every time, right? Do we have a cost for KYC yet? $9.95 is what it's going to be. Um, will we vote before or after completing our KYC? You can't vote unless you go through KYC, Carla, because that is the importance of having what I call crypto voter ID, right? So in other words, if people haven't gone through KYC, how do we know who they are, right? We have to be able to go through that, get people through that KYC process to make it so that people can't just come in and game the system. Because otherwise people could have multiple wallets with no identification at all, vote multiple times and ruin the whole system for everybody. So yeah, the KYC process will be necessary. Will there be a 3% tax on the $99 affiliate purchase? Yes, you will pay a 3% tax because every single time Sosana moves, whether it's a transfer, buy, or sell, there is 3%. So yes, excellent question. So make sure that you account for that. Let's see here. Okay, Mr. Live asked to be unmuted. I will happily do that for you, Mr. Live. Let me find you and unmute you. Just a second.
Yeah, while you're doing that, for the person who asked about the 3% tax on the $99, guys, yeah, again, just keep in mind, and I think we covered this, and I don't know if it was our last call that I did or the call before that. I would not tell anyone to, hey, if you want to be a part of Sosana, just go get exactly $99 worth of Sosana. The price could go slightly down, in the time from the time they buy to the time, and now they've got $98.97 kind of thing. Also, there is a 3% tax again, and remember, if they want to be involved in the voting process and getting that information early, they have to have at least $50 worth of Sosana in addition. So to cover any fees, any taxes, any up and down price movement or whatever, probably a good solid number if people can afford it would be $200. That will give them enough to become a founder. That would give them the $50 they'd have to be holding. That would give them any type of tax or fees covered, and it would also give them some wiggle room in type of any downward adjustment of the price at that time in between the time that they actually get started and the time that they actually have to vote. So just kind of keep that in mind
Yep.
if possible. That's how I would be thinking about it.
Yeah, good advice. Peter, you're with us. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, Mark, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Yeah, so, great informative session tonight. I wanted to add a couple words of wisdom that I have come across, some of which I can actually say, and some of which I cannot. But I will tell everyone here that I had an hour and a half call with David Track, and we talked about a lot of different things. And let's put it this way. I'll be honest with you and tell you I have a good amount of Sosana tokens. After that call, I don't think I have enough Sosana tokens. The ecosystem that is being built here, no one gets because only a few people honestly even know what's going on. And I don't want to spoil any of what David's going to be bringing out soon, but I can tell you that first and foremost, everything is being done above board here. So legally, ethically, all of that. I even asked him a question with the Sasana symbol. Has there been copyright? Has there been trademarks done? Things of that nature. And he said, of course. So these are things you have to understand. There's a registered LLC in Wyoming. This is on the website. All of this stuff is important for everybody to know that everything is being done here for the longevity of this project. And the ecosystem that is being built out is literally going to blow your mind when you see it unfold. And so when you see a Sasana price of 27 cents, 30 cents, 32 cents, in my humble opinion, that's the floor. I don't know if it will actually go below that point again. It may not. There's no guarantee. But what I do know is what's coming is going to be on another scale that a lot of us, including myself, have never seen. And so, besides that, you also have to understand that I heard also from David what's going to go on with the marketing side of things. And you have to understand that this man has connections to a lot of important people. And so when he starts talking to those important people and bringing them into the fold, and they're waiting for certain things to happen, those people are going to go and they're going to go and buy Sosana tokens. And so, what is going to happen when those influential people, let's put it that way, go and buy Sosana tokens? The demand will be increased, and therefore the price of Sosana will rise. At that point in time, the utility and use case will be in full effect. And so everything will be kind of working on all cylinders. You'll have your landing page, you'll have all the marketing that you need. There's a lot of things that are coming around the corner, whether you're an affiliate or you're a founder and you just want to hold the token and you want to benefit from what's coming in the ecosystem. There is a lot that is coming. And I'm telling you, from this call that I had, I've never been more excited about a crypto project and the foundation for what's coming in the future. So I'm going to leave it at that because legally and ethically, I can't say anymore because I was sworn to secrecy. But I will tell you, it is definitely worth your while to continuously be doing research on this project, to get on these calls, to bring people onto these calls. If you are a marketer, now's the time to do that, because you need to really get people into the fold before this really starts to blow up in a good way. So I'm going to leave it at that. But thanks, guys.
All right, Peter, we appreciate you coming on. Unexpected guest, but we really appreciate your input, buddy. You have a lot of experience. Peter's been around for many, many years in affiliate marketing and crypto. So we really appreciate his perspective, and we'd love to have you on anytime, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
You bet. All right. So you heard from Brian. Or not Brian, you heard from Peter. You actually heard from Peter that he's getting a little bit of information about David's plans and where we're headed. And it is true. There are some things that are going to come out in the future that are just going to make our Sosana community bring more and more value. And you guys haven't even discovered that yet. But I can tell you right now, what's sitting in front of you is revolutionary. Just the voting mechanism alone is going to change crypto. The way crypto, as you know it, I believe will change, especially in the Solana ecosystem. I believe that everyone in the Solana network that's hunting for projects will absolutely find out about Sosana. And when they find out about us, I don't see how they can say no. I don't see how they can look at the Sosana project and go, nah, I don't want to earn rewards looking for awesome projects. Come on. I mean, I don't want to earn rewards for doing exactly what I'm trying to do on my own all the time, every day. Really? and do it better and have a community and come in there and participate with the community and nominate projects, vote for projects, earn rewards. I don't think it's gonna, I just don't see anybody saying no to it. How long will KYC take? Mark Anthony asks. It really should only take a matter of minutes because it is an automated process. It's not a manual process. So the goal is to make that process, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes. Should be quick. The good news is if you're an affiliate and if for some reason there's some kind of hang up with your KYC process because for whatever reason there's a hang up, don't worry, it's going to still allow you to participate in the affiliate plan while that's being ironed out through support. So you're not going to be stuck going, oh no, I can't refer people. I can't function. I can't do anything. But as far as voting is concerned, to my knowledge, I can't imagine anyone being able to vote at all until they get their KYC approved. And that is why that's a great question. So it should take like 5 to 15 minutes at the most, really.
Yeah. And they can't vote without being KYC. That way it's like one person per wallet, one KYC person per wallet. And remember the KYC is outsourced, guys, to SumSub. So they do it. This is what they do, right? So it's not about me and Mark sitting around trying to verify. Does it look like them, Mark? What do you think? Is that really, that's not what's happening there. They've got some pretty advanced technology that allows them to do that very quickly.
Yep. Helen asks, will KYC require documentation before taking longer than a few minutes? No, it shouldn't, because I don't see, this is going to be a personal KYC. So really all you need is an identification, which would typically be like a driver's license. And then you just confirm your cell phone number. So it should be a very, very simple, easy process to get through. KYC is not open yet. It won't be open until we launch the affiliate plan. And that's it. I hope we answered your guys' questions, boys. I cannot believe that we've been doing this for almost an hour now. It's 9:01 p.m. my time, 10:01 Eastern for those of you in the Eastern. And I always enjoy being with the community. Love it. I love these calls. This is a labor of love for me. I don't ever, dread Zooms. I look forward to them. I look forward to being with you guys and answering your questions and making sure that you guys understand everything. And I hope you guys got a lot from tonight's Zoom. And I really appreciate Brian coming on and sharing everything he did, because he and I got together and said, yeah, we need to talk to people about this process, right? We need to kind of give people a mindset going into this, at least, if nothing less, so that you guys can understand that these criterias are important to consider whenever you guys make a decision at 7 p.m. We want you guys to be as informed as you possibly can be, and just know that again, the purpose of this is not to guarantee income or to say it's going to pump, and then you guys are going to make a profit and dump. I mean, this is not a pump and dump community, guys. This goal here is to solve a problem. The problem is the shiny object syndrome. We're trying to get away from the pump and dump. Okay. And I know there's going to be a lot of pumping, but our goal is no dumping. We're not looking for you guys to come in and just buy tokens and sell them. We want you guys to look at these projects, evaluate them, and decide if you want them to be part of your portfolio. But yes, there is going to be an opportunity, and you guys are going to have to decide when that opportunity is. You're going to still have to roll the dice to decide, will the DGen voter bonus wallet really have an impact on the project that's been voted for? You guys are going to make that decision, and we don't know when the tipping point will come. It's just like Brian said, not all elections are created equal. So you're going to have moments where you're like, okay, this market cap's really big, and when in doubt, you might want to sit it out. I mean, you might want to just go, hey, let's just see what happens. But it's also like the professor said, understand it as you undertake it. You guys are going to get better and better at this process as we experience it, right? We all are. And that's what it is. Now, of course, when I say we, I don't mean me and the team, because me and Brian and Dave and our development team, I mean, we do not participate in the voting process. We don't nominate, we don't vote, we don't earn rewards. We don't have anything to do with that, because that's a conflict of interest. We don't participate in that. We built this for you. And I got to admit, I'm a little jealous, because I would really love to participate in this process. It would be fun, but it's just not meant to be for us. That's not why we're here. And we don't want to have any conflict of interest. We will be blameless throughout this whole process. If we ever get questioned, we will always know that, hey, come on in. We're transparent. We got nothing to hide, because we don't participate. It is what it is. I'm just going to hold that line all the way from beginning to end. So anyway, I appreciate you guys taking the time being on this call. We don't have any more time to answer questions. We're literally 4 minutes past the hour. We're going to get the recording of this out. I'll try to get it out in about 15 minutes. It has to process through Zoom in our back office. Once that's processed, I'm going to put out the recording tonight. And I hope you guys, this won't be the only training that we have on this subject, because I'm sure we'll come up with other ideas. I'm sure people from the community will come to us and say, hey, did you ever consider this or that? And we'll be like, wow, you're right. And we'll want to bring it to you guys. So that's what a community is all about. So thanks to everyone for coming on, and we will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern on the next Zoom call. We'll see you.